Hello and welcome to Ascendant Astrology. In this video, we're going to be talking about Libra Rising, the recent ingress of Pluto into Aquarius, and then going over to the DMT codes to create a frequency to shift all of this information into. So by now, if you have not had the opportunity to watch the video on our channel about how to best utilize these videos that we're putting out, I would highly recommend you to do that. And the only other thing is that you don't have to understand everything that is happening or going on intellectually. Just keep watching the videos and feeling into the frequencies, and it will show you what you need to see. Okay. So for Libra rising, let's get into it. Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, rebirth, power, intensity, passion, is going to be transiting your fifth house of pleasures, recreation, children, and creativity. I will say that Pluto's transit here can be a wide variety of effects because of how broad this house is, right? So, for instance, if you have children, you're likely to see a deep transformation in your relationships with them, or this could manifest as seeing them essentially transforming before your very eyes. The way that you interact with your children can also be felt more deeply. You just got to imagine, like, Pluto is coloring these relationships with your children with his intensity or change or transformational energy. And it might just feel more deep. They can also have like the situations, the relationship with your children can also have a very deeply influential effect on them at this time. So that being said, this is a 20-year transit. So it's almost like for the Libra risings out there, if you have children, like this will essentially color the way that you have your relationship with them. And I love this because it feels like we can move more into the depth and passion of what it means to have children. So I just thought that was really interesting. And with this transit, I would use the energy to take a deep look at how you're showing up, um, how you're showing up for your children and interacting with them. What level of consciousness are you meeting your children at? Right? Okay. So, depending on other aspects of the natal chart, it is possible to see some potentially dangerous energy around your children. And again, that's like worst case scenario. It's an energy. There's got to be a lot of other. I'm not saying that you or your children are doomed. It's not what I'm saying, but I would just say not to take any necessary risks around this time with your children, and just to use some common sense involving their health. Okay, so when it comes to matters of the heart, so we'll shift. So the fifth house rules over love affairs. So those in regarding like those in newer relationships or an actual affair, right? So the shadow program of this transit can deal with subconscious inclinations to get involved with people who you may obsess over or be fascinated with. So I would just be aware of that energy as the fascination or the obsession can manifest as self-sabotaging behavior. If we're not looking closely at our motives or where this energy is coming from or kind of being perceived from, right? So with that, I know Pluto's going to come into conjunction with Venus, and I can already tell you that the feeling of the depth of how it will transform relationships on a grand scale is huge. But for Libra rising specifically, I'm talking about the same thing, right? I'm talking about this relationship aspect and love affairs. So, really looking at where are you meeting the energy of love interests or love affairs? Are you meeting new people or love interests in that chemical space of just like depending on those hits of chemicals and loving them from there? Or are you able to shift into loving from a frequency? And I feel like as a society, we are going to be able to shift more into this space of loving more deeply from a frequency um, with this energy. So, okay, I'll kind of just leave it at that. Okay. So when it comes to creativity or creative self-expression, surface level instances here are not going to resonate anymore. So that being said, like I could see a lot of people with this get sucked into their creative passions, their creative outlets, and maybe something that was just like more surface or you just dabbled in isn't really going to fit anymore. Just allow for that, like the old to wash away and step into when it comes to your creativity, what are you really passionate about? What is really driving your force there? Like what really, really interests you? Because I could see some very deeply profound creativity being created in this space. And this is a time to feel and to create deeply, intimately, and completely. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit about Libra rising with this transit. And because this transit lasts 20 years, it might feel, um, it does last 20 years, but it might feel like it lasts 2 months in the sense of Pluto is, because he's so passionate and obsessive and powerful, it might feel like, oh, I have this creation that needs to come through right now. However, that isn't the case. You don't have to do it right now. What I would say about that, though, is that if you have a creation, a creative expression that you're wanting to bring forward, use the inception point of where that creation first began. So if you start creating something, when you start creating something, the next thing you're going to create is if if you kind of get pulled away either by like outside influences or other people, kind of just keeping that inception point in your mind to always be able to come back to. Okay, amazing. Okay, so that's a little bit about what can come up or show up in this transit for you guys. And now we're going to take it to the DMT codes. So our codes today are 7, 22, and 5. And what we're going to do here is just code you. So go ahead and close your eyes. Place your hands on heart if that's comfortable. And here we're going to attune the physical body. So go ahead and breathe in that white blue light. Breathing in a white blue light, letting it trace along the brain, down the spine, and out through the mouth. Keep breathing in the white blue light, let it trace along the brain, down the spine, and out through the heart. One more time, bringing that white blue light in through the nose. It's raising the frequency of your spinal fluid. Here we're turning on the ascended DNA. Okay, so our first code is going to be a 7. So go ahead and open your eyes. And I want you just to connect to the image of the 7 and kind of let your eyes relax and soften. And let your consciousness attune to the frequency of the DMT code. Once you feel that your consciousness is attuned to the frequency, going ahead and closing your eyes, and bringing the symbol in through the center of the forehead. May it come into the brain and move into the pineal gland, and allowing it to spin. So the 7 is spinning in the pineal gland, and it is releasing the frequency into the ionic grid, into the quantum body. This is the clear channel. You don't have to know what that means. Just allow your body to have the experience. The next code is going to be the 22. So going ahead and opening your eyes and softly gazing at the 22, attuning to the frequency, allowing the symbol to move into the center of the brain, closing your eyes and watching as the 22 spins in the pineal gland. And it's releasing a frequency into the body, into the quantum grid, turning on all the electrons and activating every single cell in the body. Turning on that 22. And opening your eyes again and connecting to the 5, the shift. Softening the gaze, attuning to the frequency of the 5. Closing the eyes and bringing the 5 into the center of the brain. Even if you can't see it, just perceiving the experience. Be in the experience of the 5, the center of the brain, the pineal gland, spinning. And as it spins, it's releasing its frequency, tuning every cell of the body, tuning the quantum grid, that quantum body, and imbuing this with the 5 energy. Okay. So again, our shift code is going to be 7, 22, 5. And now that you have created this energetic field, it's my hope that if or when any of this stuff kind of comes up in your physical reality, you're able to meet it from a new state of consciousness, a new level of understanding, and shift your focus from receiving it on the physical level to attuning to the intelligence behind those experiences. And so all you have to do is bring in the intention of filling the body with this frequency. Okay. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.